Assalamu alaikum students, and welcome to the new session of 2020-21. Today I am going to start chapter which actually being discussed by the Irfan sir in the live classes. However, those who cannot attend those classes, for them here I am going to discuss those topics which already ongoing. So today basically I am going to discuss about the chapter Physical Features of India. And in Physical Features of India, let me tell you there are 6 physiographic divisions of India. The Himalayas, first the Himalayas, second the Northern Plains, third the Peninsula Plateau, fourth one the Great Indian Desert, fifth one the coastal plains, and the sixth one 2 groups of islands. And today I am going to discuss about the Peninsula Plateau. The Peninsula Plateau is tabletop land which composed of old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. It was framed due to the breaking and rifting of Gondwana land, and thus making it part of one of the oldest land masses in the world. And it is the oldest land mass in India. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. In mountains, like a triangular shape, but in peninsula, Peninsula Plateau is a plateau, so they're like rounded hills. This plateau consists of 2 broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The river Narmada, as we know, that it flows through like Bharuch, and Bharuch is actually located on the banks of the river Narmada. So north of the Narmada, that is called the Central Highlands, and south of Narmada, that is called the Deccan Plateau, 2 divisions of Peninsula Plateau. The Vindhyan range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravalli in the northwest. Kindly look at this. Take your textbook and check the map which is given on your page number 10 in geography textbook. You will find the Vindhya range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravalli range on the north. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. The flow of river draining in this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh and the Betwa. And there is one more which is the Ken. So Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa and the Ken. And these rivers basically flow southwest to northwest. That means this direction showing the slope, indicating the slope. The Central Highlands are wider in the west and narrower in the east. The eastward extension of plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand or Bagelkhand. Bundelkhand or Bagelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. You can check in the map. The Deccan Plateau. Now about the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of river Narmada. North of the river Narmada, Central Highlands, and south of the river Narmada, the Deccan Plateau. The Satpura range flanks the broader base in the north, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur and the Maikal range provides that easternwards extension. Those hills are located even indicating in the map. So again, check the map. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slope gently eastward. An extension of the plateau is visible in the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya, Karbi Angloing Plateau and the North and Kachar Hills. It is separated by the fall from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. These prominent ranges from the west to east are the Garo, the Khasi and the Jaintia Hills. The Garo, the Khasi and the Jaintia Hills. Look in the map above the Bangladesh in the northeastern side of India. Now about the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. The Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats mark the western and eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively. Now let's see about them. Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast, and the eastern Ghats parallel to the eastern coast. That is very simple. There are continuous, western Ghats are basically continuous and can be crossed only through the mountain passes. There are Thal Ghat, Gol Ghat, Pal Ghat. Those are some of the well-known Ghats in the western Ghats. The western Ghats are higher than the eastern Ghats. The average elevation of western Ghats is 900 to 1600 meters above the sea level. The eastern Ghats were only 600 meters above the sea level. The eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to Nilgiri in the south. The eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by rivers draining into Bay of Bengal. As we have seen, western Ghats are constant, continuous, but eastern Ghats are like broken. Basically, those rivers have formed the deltaic area which broke the western Ghats. Eastern Ghats. The western Ghats are known by different local names. The height of the western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. The highest peak of western Ghats is Anaimudi with the height of 2695 meters, and the Doda Betta, the second highest, 2637 meters above the sea level. If we talk about the eastern Ghats, Mahendragiri is the highest peak of eastern Ghats. Sharvoi Hills and the Jawadi Hills are located to the south of the eastern Ghats. Those hills are located south of the eastern Ghats. And well-known Udagamandalam, popularly known as Uti, find in the map, which is the famous hill station. And Kodaikanal, which is located in Kerala, Nilgiri hill regions, find in the map. One of the distinct features of the Peninsula Plateau is the black soil area known as the Deccan Trap. This is the volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks have denuded over the time and are responsible for the formation of the black soil. The Aravalli Hills lies on the western and northwestern margin of the Peninsula Plateau. There are highly eroded hills found as broken hills. They extended from Gujarat to Delhi in the southwest and northwest direction. Kindly look at the Aravalli Hills north of the Gujarat. That means from the beginning of Rajasthan to extend up to Delhi. So this is all about the Peninsula Plateau. In the next session, we will discuss remaining physiographic divisions of India. Thank you so much for watching video. Stay tuned.